there is a dog. Why are you giving me a side eye? Why are you side eyeing me? Why? Like, you have so many feels, don't you? Hello, welcome back to No Way the Anxiety Podcast. My name is Marissa, and I'll be your host. Anxiety is not super high. Anxiety over the holidays was a little, but we'll get into that later. Maybe, I don't know if I even remember. This episode, it obviously is just wrapping up everything from December, and a lot of things I made were gifts, so there will be a little blurb from a couple days ago, Marissa, with a whole bunch of stuff, so you could physically see the items instead of just doing a whole bunch of pictures over here. I am gonna go into a tiny bit of stash information, like the details. I spent almost an hour this morning calculating how much has come in and out via my Ravelry projects and my stash page. So it's not good. Spoiler, it's not good. But anyway, let's get started. Oh, I am wearing my Marbury again. This has just become my favorite thing ever to wear when I'm at home. I even wear it to the office now when I do go to the office. But it's my most favorite thing right now. It really is, along with all my hand knit socks. But I'll start with FOs, like we normally do. Take it away, past Marissa, with the bulk of them. So the first Christmas gift that I finished was for, who was this one for? This was for my younger stepsister's new baby who literally was just born. It's a little teddy bear. And the shirt does come off. The shirt does come off. This is the Dress Me Teddy by Esther Braithwaite. And I did this out of, the main body is out of Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Soft Taupe. And then I used the remnants of a Caron Big Cakes in the color Boysenberry for the little sweater. And baby, so everything is embroidered on. There's no risks of small items choking them. And then this one, I can't remember who this one's for. I think this one's for her. This one's for my little cousin. This one was a bit of a modification, a combination of two patterns. So it's a little horse. This is a combination of both patterns by Esther Braithwaite. One is the Dress Me Teddy, so I used the Dress Me Teddy for the bulk of the pattern, and then used a scaled up and calculated version of the Dress Me Horse that she also does. The Dress Me Horse does not have the little arms, and it's actually a much smaller size, so everything that I've done, like all these little stuffies I've done, they're all much larger weight than what the pattern calls for. So this is Dress Me Horse number 1. And it's really cute. Very cute. So the color, the white is Red Heart, Super Saver and white. The brown is Lime Brand, Pound of Love and Chocolate. And then the little sweater is out of Caron Jumbo prints in the color Country Basket. And that was one that I had from my cold stash I just haven't gotten rid of. This one's for an older child, so it does have little safety eyes. I'm very happy how this turned out. Okay, and then we have what is probably my favorite of all the finished objects, is the Stegopuff. This is my favorite, probably because Stegosaur is my favorite dinosaur. But this is the Stegopuff the Dinosaur by Jennifer Chua. Again, modified. This pattern is actually meant to be done with fingering weight, and I did out of worsted with a bunch of like scaling modifications, which I sadly did not make very good notes of, because I don't know what I'm gonna do next time I try and do this. But so the main body color is in Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Guacamole, and then the spikes are in the green Lagoon color. And this one's for an older child, so it's got safety eyes for eyes. And it's very similar in size. So, like, they're pretty similar in size and scale. So, yeah, that's a Stegopuff. And that's completely seamless. There's no seaming on any of these. There's no seaming at all. I did another horse. This time with white hair, same yarns and everything, just with the different mane color. And this one goes to my middle stepsister's oldest daughter. And yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this Stegopuff is going to my middle stepsister's youngest child. And then the last of the stuffies is the, again, kind of a combo. This one was, I followed the entire animal pattern, but then used the sweater pattern from the Dress Me Bear. So this is the Dress Me Bunny, again by Esther Braithwaite. And this one is for my younger stepsister's oldest child. And the sweater is the same yarn as the bear. So what I kind of did was that the animals that were gonna go to one stepsister's kids both have, so like these are literally the same yarn for the sweaters. And then I did the kind of camo-y looking stuff for the horses. And then the next gift, I managed to finish the planned socks for my dad. So these are my Franken pattern socks. Can't call up the one. So I did contrast heel, toe, and cuff, and the yarn is the Patent Croy. Main color is the gray brown marl, and then the contrast is the Gentry gray. And I found out that my dad's feet perfectly fit my husband's recipe for socks, so I just followed that, tried them on my husband, and it fit perfectly. And he liked the cuff length or the leg length and everything. So these will be a huge freaking hit. I can't wait to get those to him. And then the last item that was a Christmas gift that I don't have to show because it's not for me, is a basic vanilla hat for my stepdad. And this was done out of Loops and Threads Charisma in the color Cascade, which is a really old color that I had in my, like, before I even started putting stuff into Ravelry. It just had been hanging around, so I was like, I'm just gonna add that to the stash and then really quickly remove it. So just a very basic hat, and I followed the super soft merino hat for everybody by Pearl Soho, because it's just a bulky weight hat. So the yarn did all the work. I don't gotta worry about nothing. It's done. It'll fit his giant freaking head. I think I did do a slightly different decrease, because I kind of did the, almost like the kind of decreases you would do for a toe kind of thing. But yeah, I'm very happy with how that turned out. It's very, it's done. It was really fast knit because of bulky weight, so. But yeah, that is all of the Christmas presents that are actually going to be gifted to people. So now I can actually go freaking wrap those, thank goodness. So take it away, future Marissa. Bye-bye. Thank you, past Marissa. I'll take it from here. So unfortunately the only gift that was not finished in time, was my husband's blanket. But that means, guys, if I can get this folded or in my arms properly. Ta-da! The blanket is done! It's all done. Well, I still have ends I need to weave in and can snip, and it needs to be washed, but it's done. For all intents and purposes, it is done. I will have to take a picture on our bed to put over here so you can see the full layout of everything. I ended up, my husband's very happy with it. It does cover him from ankle to shoulder if he decides to wear it on his shoulders when laying on the bed. But he's told me he's likely going to use this in his office and within his like lounge chair or whatever. So it'll fit better than that because he'll be sitting. And if he really wanted to, he could go diagonal and it'd be fine. We ended up doing the squares. We did 4x4 in terms of the orientation. So only 20 squares total, right? No, that's 16. I can't math. Yeah, I did 16 squares in total. I could have done another 4. It would not have been done yesterday, but when we were laying out all the squares to determine like what orientation he wanted them all in, so I got to that point of doing the 16 and being like, maybe we with how large the squares are, because each square is like was before the border was put on was like 14.5 inches wide already. So I actually had him like lay them all out on our bed, and he just fucked with the orientation for a bit and ended up finding the sequence you'll see in the picture over here that he really liked, and it was visually appealing. And so from there, I spent, I think I spent the last month and a half, or no, the last month. I spent the last month connecting all of the squares. So I did, I don't know if I can even show it properly, but how do I want to show this? I don't know. What you'll see in the photo I put up. But what I did was I did the vertical strips. I'm just gonna have to explain it verbally because I can't physically show it because it's so big. So with the 4 vertical strips that he had set up, I took those strips and did a horizontal join between all of them. So I did the thicker band at the top and then the smaller ones in the join. I did that for all 4 strips. And then I went through and added the vertical intersections, or the vertical borders, on all of them. So the very first one has that thicker outer border, and then the thinner, and the other, and from there. And each time I would complete the border on one strip, I would attach it to the other one via a form of crocheted 3 needle bind off kind of thing. It's like, I can't recall. It's like this thing where you use the crochet hook and you take from one needle in one direction, and then from one needle in the other direction, a different direction, and then you swap like front, back, back, front, front, back, back, front, and that's how you grab the stitches off the needles, and it forces the yarn to stay underneath the fabric, so you actually just get this really nice, you might be able to see it, this really nice kind of crocheted join. You can kind of see that there, right there. And it worked out really good for all the joins. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really happy that they all the joins laid really flat, and that's what I wanted. But yeah, I use so much yarn. We will get into that when we get to the stash update stuff. That is done, and that is the Learn to Knit a Log Cabin Blanket by Stacey Perry, or Very Pink Knits. I did that in Lion Brand Pound of Love in Oxford Gray, Sleet, Cadet, Black, Denim Blue, and Chocolate. And I used a US 8 or 5mm needle to do that whole thing. I told my husband last night this is the second largest knit blanket I have done ever. The first was my sister-in-law's Christmas wedding gift last year. So I'm shocked at myself for doing such large blankets so close together. I've had a bug, I guess, the last year or so to do blankets. So I think this is like blanket number 3 or 4 for the year, I think it's number 3. Yeah, I think it's number 3, because the crocheted one for myself was number 1 that I finished this year, and then I finished this one, my version of my iteration of a rectangular habitation throw, and then this one will be number 3 for the year. So those are pretty big freaking projects. So that's not freaking bad. Really big projects, not bad. And that is sadly it for the FOs. Literally most of the things I finished were freaking Christmas gifts, as you will have seen in the little blurb from Past Marissa. And with that said, I only have 1 whip, so we're gonna move to whips. and it's in that really weird stage right now between things. Um, I cast these on the 1st because I think you guys might recall my plan to cast on a pair of socks on the 1st and hopefully have them done by the 15th, and then maybe do another pair and try and do 2 pairs of socks a month. With all the other Christmas gifts, that did not freaking happen. I think every single Christmas gift, with the exemption of my dad's socks and the blanket for my husband, were literally just randomly decided to make on like December 1st or 2nd. Like, I pulled all of those plushies and the hat completely out of my ass. So right now I have my Christmas socks, which I did not finish, unfortunately. As these are literally my only active whip, these will likely be finished in the next 2 days, so I will probably complete the heel flap, turn, and gusset on this other sock and be back to doing the, like, probably finish the leg or the foot tomorrow. But so I'm at this actually is a good time to show you guys what I mean and how I do my socks. So normally I have my socks with my 2 circular needles, but what I do when I go to do the heel flap and turn is I will, if I can figure this out, I will remove the sock with a circular and then do my heel. Like, I've just started my heel flap on these, so there's not much progress at all. I don't know if you can see it. I'll have to pull the other one. But so I'll use the magic loop method to do my flap, turn, and gusset, and then I put it back onto the 2 circulars to work the foot and toes together. And I do so the cuff and foot, oh my god, the cuff and leg is worked at the same time on the 2 circulars. The flap, turn, and gusset are all worked separately on the circular needle, and then they're put back together on the 2 circulars to finish the foot and the toe. So this yarn is the Knit Picks Felici in the color Buddy. This was I think last year's batch of colors. So it's, although I swear to God, my Buddy must have been like a fucking matte weird color or whatever, because this does not look red to me. It looks so orange. It does not look red. But so here's the full heel that I ended up doing. I had originally, with the help of AI, not the best move, but I had originally decided to do like a navy for these, and it just wasn't sitting right with me for some reason. It just really was bothering me that I had like, yes, it would technically work because it's like an opposite color, and it definitely would be a like major contrast, but it just felt weird to like, whilst I was doing the cuff and the foot, or cuff and the leg, I was like, man, I don't know if that really sits well with me. I don't really know if I like that. So, literally, oh, I totally forgot to tell you guys what day it is. It's Saturday the 27th of December, 10:50 in the morning. But the day before Christmas Eve, so Tuesday, I asked my husband to come in my office, and I'm like, okay, I think God, what was I watching? I think I was watching Knit All the Yarns podcast, and she reminded me that you can use like partial skeins or something like that or speckles for your heels instead of using a solid color for your heel. And I realized I hadn't done that yet, and I was like, do I have any what? Do I have any scraps that are large enough that I could do that? I do. I have a whole freaking bag in my scrap basket that's literally just fingering weight yarns that are over 15 grams. Like, I have 2 separate bags, one that's under 15 grams and one that is over 15 grams. And I had like 9 freaking partial skeins in that bag. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this works. And I had my husband come to my office, and I'm like, okay, I told him I'm not okay with this blue color. This is really throwing me off. Of these like 4 within this bag, which do you think would work with this? And he picked this one, and I'm actually very happy with it because there are greens and there's like yellows, and it's creamy, and it's speckly. It's like speckles of color, and then there's enough color. It almost looks like you're looking at a Christmas tree, or like a flocked lights covered Christmas tree, which I think really works. And I'm very, very happy with it. It's a much better choice than the blue. So that is the is a sock obsession yarns really resilient smooth sock 4-ply on the in the color rosy bold. It's a very old color. I don't think they make that color anymore. This color was literally one of those skeins I bought. Oh, when did I buy that? I think in like 2019. Like my literally it was one of my like first dozen hand dyed skeins I ever purchased when I started getting back into knitting. And I think I made myself a cowl, or I test knit a cowl with this color, and the not a good color choice for a cowl because it was like the texture of the cowl just got lost in the color. Um, but anyway, I'm very happy with it. Like I'm very happy with the color choice now. I'm much happier than I would have been with the blue. So these will hopefully be done in the next 2 days because I would really, really, really like to have stuff off my needles and have my needles be clear going into the new year. And we'll talk about that and my New Year's plans in a bit. Oh, and this is my bag. The bag. This is in my Sasquatch bag, the new one that my husband got me for our anniversary. And the bag's by Awesome Granny. Is it? What is it called? Oh, it's Bags by Awesome Granny. Granny is Grannie. I quite like that. It's very cute. Is this cold enough? I can drink it now. Oh, it's perfect. Okay. In my mug, in my little Three Sheepies mug I got from the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival in October, I have from Plum Deluxe Cine Roll Black Tea with some honey and lactose-free milk. It is delicious. It's like the perfect temperature for drinking. This mug is freaking huge. I love it. This thing is like a serving and a half of tea. It's fabulous. I love it. And a giant freaking handle. Ugh. And it's also dishwasher safe, which makes me so happy because I'm lazy. So, with the mention of everything being finished in time for the new year, I think before I get into acquisitions and stats and everything, I want to talk about my future cast-ons and future plans for my stash and everything, and just future knitting plans. And I'll go into this a bit more in my stash stats, but my stash stats were not super great, and I definitely want to continue to stash down and decrease how much comes in and increase how much goes out. I I definitely like visually don't feel like I added a whole lot. Like visually I do. Like everything's been my bins have been rearranged like 4 times this year. I've expanded my expanded the fingerings, like fingering weight area of my bins a couple times just because of how much fingering I've been purchasing. I've all but eliminated bulky weight, like bulky and super bulky weight from my stash. I've eliminated a lot of acrylic from my stash. That being said, I do still have all of the yarn that I purged like in January of this year. I never ended up donating it. I just have the 3 bags in my office closet. And I have found an organization that I am going to, I think, work with or make things for. Because one of the things I really want to do in the coming years, I would really, really like to actually like knit things for donation. Because that's been like, I'm one little person. And the only thing I can really do is impact my local community. And I haven't found a like homeless shelter near me that's not religiously affiliated. I think that's part of my issue is that I'm not a religiously affiliated person, and I do not want to I don't want to engage with a religiously affiliated run organization. I just don't. Just for my own principles, just how I operate. So it's been difficult to find a homeless shelter or like to find those or like organizations meant for helping the homeless within like near me, my very local community. The closest thing I can find is like the big main city that's like an hour away from me, and I don't want to donate there. I want to donate locally. And I haven't found any non-secular organizations within my town yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I did find a organization for shelter animals, and the founder started up in the big city an hour away, but they work with a whole bunch of shelters throughout the state and throughout the country. And I found out that the shelter in my town is one of those recipients and one of those organizations that works with this big organization. So I'm totally blanking on the main organization's name, but the project that takes on the knit blankets and the knit and crochet blankets is called the Snuggle Project. And it's essentially you make a blanket of varying sizes. They have different measurements, but it's not super specific. And you can donate them to the shelter, your local shelter, or you can send them to the main hub in the main city. And that's kind of it. And I like their main thing is they want acrylic and they want to be like really thick. And I'm like, okay, cool. I have a bunch of acrylic yarns and I know I can hold them double and I can build blankets for fur babies really fast. So that is going to be one of the things I want to do next year. I'd like to see how many of those I can make and donate to my local shelter. For the fur babies, because I can't afford to take on any new fur babies, but I want to help their fur babies as a start. That is where I'm starting. I'm starting with that, and I'm hoping maybe by working with the Snuggle Project that I can find Snuggle projects but human equivalents, just so I can help my fellow man, because people need help. So but that's one of my plans. I also want to do more socks, because I obviously, as you guys have seen, I've gotten all this Felice yarn and I have all these really nice sock yarns, and I really want to continue to make 2 pairs of socks a month, if I can, because if I do that, especially with the Felice stuff, if I can get more Felice socks made, then I can have more Felice scraps and I can start a Felice blanket. I've also gotten into my head that in order to for context, my god, I can't stop talking. For context, whenever I make a pair of socks with Felice, I always do contrast heel, and it ends up only using like 40 of the 100 grams I have for the colors. And I don't want to be putting 40 grams into my blankets, so I'm thinking that I want to do an interim project as well, so that I can use up more of the Felice yarn in a way that will allow me to have varying lengths that are added to the blanket, so they're not all the exact same length, just for variance in colors and all that. So I'm blanking on the name of the freaking shawl right now. Okay, so I got it in my head that I want to make a My Reading Shawl by K.F. Jones. I'll put a picture over here. It's a triangular shawl that is done in garter with, I believe it's a picot edge. And I got it, it's supposed to be done with like minis and a main color skein. I got it in my head that instead of using, because it's meant to be done with an advent calendar, instead of using minis, I can take the main color and hold it double where it needs to be held double, and then where I'm supposed to put in a color, I can take one of the Felice yarns and just hold that with the main color, so that it has these little blips of all the colors, and then that can be my like hanging out in my chair shawl if I don't feel like wearing this, or if I'm working, I don't want to wear a sweater. So I have that kind of in my brain, but that requires me to knit more Felice socks. So hopefully the more Felice socks will be a thing this year, or next year. I need to, I'll show it to you in stash stuff. But I also want to do a garter, ridge, or Irish moss textured blanket with my, anyway, that the blue and red, that the yarn, the Sock Obsession Yarns Doctor Who yarn that I have not had a chance to successfully make into anything. I got my hands on a main color that I'm thinking I want to hold with it, and I want to do either a garter, ridge, or Irish moss blanket with those two yarns, in some variation of holding them doubled, so that I can actually use a damn yarn because it's driving me crazy. I've had that yarn for over almost 6 years, or maybe 6 years now, and it's still not something. It needs to be something. And I'm thinking, because of all the color variations between all the skeins, a blanket is going to be the best possible way for me to use it effectively and use all of it. One of the other goals I want to have for this coming year is I want to work through my elder stash. So things like the Sock Obsession Yarns Doctor Who yarn, things like this single ply skein from Rose Hill Yarns. This was, like the Rosy Bold in my socks, was one of the first yarns I ever purchased, one of the first hand dyes I ever purchased. I have plans to make this into a Pembroke scarf by Elizabeth McCartan. That's the name, and the picture of that will be over here. Just so I can freaking use it. So I can use it and turn it into something pretty, and just, me being me, garter stitch and basic texture are like the thing only thing my brain can handle this right now. I'm hoping that maybe in the new year I'll be able to like actually get into something more complicated if I have the space for it. So, and I also have plans to make another sugar plum cowl. I might end up making and finishing that before the end of the year, just because I have quite a bit of like car rides ahead of in my future. I'm on vacation. I'm on a long vacation, but I have a sick family member, and my brother, his wife, my husband, and I are gonna go down there. Are gonna make the car trip, and we're gonna go see them while they're in the hospital, because it's not looking too good. So I need to. My brother's gonna drive, so I'll have 2 hours both ways, so 4 hours total to work on something. And typically, and something that's just knitting in the round, like a sugar plum cowl, is pretty much perfect, because then I don't have to think about it, because I get really bad car sickness, and as long as I don't have to look at it, I'm fine. So I'm hoping if I can get that started and get the ribbing done, I can just knit the body of the cowl, and that'll be it. I don't think I'll be able to. I think I might be able to start my Pembroke scarf, but probably not until the day after, just because this will have I-cord and increases and decreases, and it's going to require me to look at it, and that's not a good car project. Now we're done talking about future plans, future cast-ons. It is now time for the acquisitions and stash changes. Yarn did come in, as it does. I have 2 yarn of the months from Havasum Yarn. I don't remember if this one came with that one. So I purchased her, yeah, I did. The November's Table color, which is very warm and yellow and orange and browns. It's very autumn leaves, very woodsy, and it's very, very pretty. And it came with, I don't know if you're gonna see it, a little latch progress keeper that's in the shape of a starfish. Get that. And then I also purchased her Whimsical December yarn of the month. And I purchased this one early enough, I actually was able to get one of her sock sets of this. So it did come with a 20-gram mini. And it's showing up, the mini is showing up way more red on camera, but it's actually more of a burgundy than it actually is showing up as. Like, this color down here is actually somewhat close, but not quite. So the main skein is a whole lot of speckles, and it's really, really nice. And then you got the burgundy contrast. And I got this on her, I think it was her Mushu base? Yeah. her 75 merino wool, 25% recycled nylon, which I believe is her Mushu base. Because all her bases are named after dogs, which is great. And I don't know if she's going to continue to do Yarn of the Month into the new year, which kind of sucks because I only just found her and I want to keep buying her Yarn of the Month. Oh, hello, Rose. What are you doing, puppy? Are you looking at the camera? Hi. Are you lay down? You're a distraction. You really are. She is so distracting. Hi. Yes, hello. Hi. Lay down, Rose. Come on. Good girl. Go. There you go, puppy. Go in your little hole that you made. You silly girl. She's silly. But yeah, I don't know if Have Some Yarn is gonna continue to do Yarn of the Month into 2026. I'm kind of hoping she does because I only just found her yarn and I really would like to have it be my monthly deterrent from purchasing a whole bunch of yarn. Because I feel like that was part of my issue this year, was that I had a couple months where I didn't purchase anything. And then when I did go to purchase, it just went fucking insane. It just exploded and I purchased way too much and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through it. I don't know. Okay. The next thing I purchased was some Knit Picks yarn because Knit Picks was on sale. And I purchased this to pair or hold double with the Doctor Who blue and orange and whatnot reds yarn. The yarn that's the problem yarn. So I got 6 balls of the Knit Picks Mighty Stitch fingering weight and the color silver, which is just this basic medium gray, and I'm hoping that this being the kind of medium, more neutral, semi-cool tone, yeah, it's kind of cool tone, that it'll kind of help with the color variations within the Doctor Who yarn. And this is an 80/20 acrylic wool, so this will pair really well with that and will add a bit more wearability to it, so I can wash it and whatnot. And I'm hoping that because there's about 600 grams for both colors, I'm hoping that I get a pretty big blanket out of it, but we shall see. And we finally put away. Cool. And then Yarn Asia's Fibers dropped some holiday yarn at the very end of November, and I bought some. So, because she was doing I think you know what it was? I think it was Small Business Saturday after Thanksgiving, and I was like, well, I love her yarn, and I'm sorry for the crinkles, I'm so sorry. I was like, I love her yarn a lot, and I love supporting her and just dinosaurs. So I went and one of the colors that she was talking about having for Christmas really caught my eye. So I was like, well, I need that. And then I went looking at her shop to see what other things I could add to get the deal. And I was like, oh, I'll take that and that and that and that and that. So one of the things that I got was a leftover from a yarn crawl that she did. I can't remember what his SN. It was like Sierra Nevada, I think. Yeah, I think it was the Sierra Nevada Yarn Crawl 2025, and this is the mini set that she had during that yarn crawl. I don't know if you can see all those colors. So there's a pink, a limey green, a light blue, a dark blue, and a medium purple. And I got these for my contrast heel collection of minis. So these will go into my minis bag and be available for contrast heels. I guess I don't need to put it back in the bag because I can actually put it away now. Pull these out so I don't have to do the crinkle. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry! I'm sorry for the crinkles, guys. I'm so sorry for the crinkles. Okay. And then I got 2 colors from her holiday drop. 2 sock sets from her holiday drop. And this is the one that originally caught my eye. Well, these are what caught my eye and why I went on her website for a sale. All these yarns are on her Salta fingering base, which is 85% superwash merino wool and 15% nylon, by the way. So this is the one that caught my eye. It's Northern Nights sock set. Can you take a guess why this would have caught my eye? It's freaking purples and blues. Like, it's looking very pink because of my lighting, but it's actually purples. It's shades of purple and blue, and this, like, the contrast is more teal than it's appearing. Like, it's way more of a greeny teal than it looks like on camera. And this was one of the reasons. The other reason was her sock set called Peppermint Grove. This is Christmas. It's pinks and greens with a contrast green. Like, I originally purchased this with the intention of making these into socks as soon as I got it. Like, my plan was to finish my knit pick socks before the 15th and then start this on the 15th and have them done by Christmas. So I had socks for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which did not happen because of all those fucking plushies that I made. But hopefully next year I will actually make these into Christmas socks. I might try and do that early. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like a peppermint candy. It's like peppermint. It's so pretty. And then to top off for the deal, she had another drop. I'm guessing a couple of weeks beforehand or something like that. But she had a couple of like released some kind of like Jurassic Park inspired colors. So I got the Survival is a long shot, which, can you understand why? It's gray, brown, and blue. My favorite colors. Like, I almost want more of this so I can do more things with. Like, I love this so much. I want more of it. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna require me to actually knit with it. And then the last one I got is a tonal, which I don't ever really buy tonals. Most of the time it's a variegated or speckles. Tonals are really odd and really few and far between thing for me. But I got this one because of the name, because it's literally my favorite dinosaur. Is a Stegosaurus. Is that beautiful little Stegosaurus, mossy green, and I'm very happy with it. It's very tonal, and I cannot wait to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna do something with it, and it's gonna make me so happy to have a Stegosaurus color in something. I mean, these two together are really nice, so I could pair them together if I wanted to. But I don't know. Okay, so that was what came into my stash, which was a total of 1,380 grams. Then, what went out? All 5 of the stuffies was a total of 326 grams. Socks for my dad were 82 grams. My stepfather's hat was 91 grams. My husband's blanket was 1,890 grams. For a total out of 2,389 grams. So if you do the math, I am negative 1,009 grams for the month. Woohoo! Go me! I did it. One negative with whole 1,000 grams. Wow, that's nuts. I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy. So that said, I went through all of my stash entries on Ravelry, all of my product entries on Ravelry, and I calculated, and this is plus or minus 50 grams. All these numbers are plus or minus 50 grams because I could have calculated incorrectly. So there's a 50 gram variance, positive or negative. So my calculations are correct. I added 19,949 grams to my stash, which, when divided by 100, which is the weight of an average skein, means I added almost 200 skeins to my stash this year. That's a lot of yarn. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. I took out 11,390 grams, plus or minus 50 grams, which is almost 114 skeins. So, I am a net positive of 8,559 grams, or approximately 85.59 skeins. That's not bad. It could have been like between the in and the out, it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. These numbers do not make me happy. I've never actually like kept track of it. Like, this has probably been the most diligent I've ever been about keeping my Ravelry stash and projects like accurate, like with the grams and entering things into Ravelry and everything. I don't think I've ever had something this accurate before. So I'm hoping that this will really like make me super aware of how much is in my stash, and that it'll, and I also feel like I curated things a lot better this year. Like, I bought things with more my color palette in mind, and like I'm finding out what kind of fibers I like to work with better and what weights I like to work with better. And I think that it's going good. I think it's good. But yeah, I feel like I curated things a lot better this year. I have way more obtainable projects in my queue. I cleaned up my queue a little bit last night. I'm hoping to do some more garments this year. Maybe that's going to depend on the weight loss journey, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Not much to talk about it, but we'll talk about it. Yeah, I'm really out of it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. Last few days have been a freaking nut, just fucking crazy. Yeah. So I'm hoping to have less in than out. I'm also hoping to mitigate the like mass purchasing by maybe allowing myself one skein a month. I'm contemplating if I want to try and get an advent next year. I don't really know yet. I've only done an advent once, and I haven't even used it yet. I did the Yarnaceous advent one time, and I love that. The advent was great. I think there's only 2 colors in the whole advent I didn't like, and that's because they were pink. But the rest of it was teals, purples, and greens. I was very happy with it, and I have plans to make that into a sweat. That with a other yarn. I have plans to make that into a sweater, which which is a bit in the back of my brain. I kind of want to do that soon, just so I can actually like wear it, because it's really pretty. I really want to make that. I think one of the other things that's kind of been a hindrance this year was I didn't allow myself to make any like garments until like the last 2 months of the year, meaning this. And like, I started the Isa, but that yarn is just terrible, and I think I might need to purge that yarn, and try it with something else. So I'm gonna try that, give that another shot, or I might try and just do a totally different sweater. Like, I might do the one that's on my brain with those minis from that advent. But like, I definitely foresee, like, in terms of purchases that I know will likely happen, if I don't get any, so that's a weird thing. For Christmas, I got literally nothing yarn related, yarn or knitting related, except for 2 things from my husband. He got me a container of darning needles, because I needed more darning needles, and I found these ones and I like them. And he got me the final book in the Leslie Ann Vester collection, you know, the cast on, bind off, increase, decrease, cable left, cable right books. He got me the last of those, the cast on, bind off one. So I have all those now, and that's it. No, I got literally nothing else that was yarn related from anybody, which is shocking considering how many things I put on my gifster list that contained yarn or yarny related things or project bags and things like that. And I very likely it could be it's very likely because of the economy. Um, that's very likely. Um, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. But that said, I did put the latest round of Felici on my list, and if I do not get the two sets I asked for my birthday in April, I will be like, I know for sure I will be purchasing those for myself. So I have those colors for my collection, so I can put those into my Felici blanket. Um, I what else was it? I know I want to do the purged yarns into fur baby blankets, which I likely will not bring back into my stash. I will likely just make them as they show up, and I'll show them to you when they're finished before I donate them. I'm not going to do the gram dinner out with those just because it's a pain in the ass, like a major pain in the ass, to go through the page or the tag or whatever on my stash and add things back into the stash and back at like move it from all used up or gifted or whatever sold to in stash not for sale, and then trying to keep track of that throughout the year is really difficult. So I think I'll just use the yarn and I won't even keep track of it as grams in or out. Either way, it's available to me. If I want to do something with it, I can. Um, Now, if I decide that I want to make something for a family member, um, or something like that, because like I have this thing in the back of my head where I want to make a shawl for my grandmother. Her husband is the one that's in the hospital. My grandfather's in the hospital. Like I want to kind of make like a prayer shawl type thing with a yarn that I know is in my discard bags. So I might move that back into my active stash. But I don't think I'll count that as adding grams. I don't think I'll count that. I think I'll count it as coming out of my stash, maybe. I don't know yet. I haven't really worked out the details. I really need to make myself a spreadsheet or something to keep track of all these things, so that I actually really can see what's coming in and going out. Let me think about this. Yeah, I have last year's Felici batch set up for what colors I'm going to make each month. I think the next color is ribbon candy, I think. Yeah, next one ribbon candy. So I've got at least 12 pairs of Felici socks planned. But if I have the time or desire, I can make more with the yarns I have in both Felici and the others that I've got. I'm gonna try and do more one skein projects or larger things that are faded or use more of the whole skeins. I still have my bins for sock yarn cowls and muscle burrows and things of that nature. Doing the sock yarn cowls just randomly throughout the year was a major help come Christmas time. Oh my god. It was such a big help come Christmas time. Holy crap. So I definitely want to continue to do that so that I can just have things at the ready, just take stashed yarn from my stash and just make it into something. So that I just have a stockpile, and then come Christmas time, I can just, okay, this goes to this person, this goes to this person, done, done, done. I did that with my stepsister, my sister-in-law, my mom. They got cowls that matched the socks I made them a couple years before, and my mom was so cute. She put her cowl on and then she literally went and got the socks so that we're done with the matching yarn and put them on. She was so funny. Yeah, but I think that's about it for that. I'm hoping to get some of these big blankets and big blanket quantities of yarn out of my stash. I've got two reusable bags right now that have enough yarn for blankets in them. One of them is the Lion brand Thick and Quick in sea glass. I have my sea glass blanket, and then I have another one that I want to turn a bunch of Caron 1 pound and even some of my Lion Brand 1 pound of loves into a Sweet Shop blanket. Can't remember who makes that Sweet Shop blanket, but I want to do that. Yeah, a lot of blankets, a lot of socks in my hope for next year. Just a lot of like stash moving through stash. Because I really want to keep I want the whole year to be at a negative. A net negative would be so nice. I want each month to be super close to a net negative or net zero. It'd be really nice if I could do that. Let me think. I'm contemplating if I want to. I don't know if I necessarily want to go through and do another purge. Because if I do another purge, it's going to be really minimal. It's going to be like a couple of my, like, it's mostly going to be acrylics. I don't really get rid of my wools. I just find something to do with them. It's mostly the acrylics that I get rid of because I'm moving away from my acrylic phase, and I don't think I really need to purge them. I can just put them into the Fur Babies donation blanket yarn stash. I don't know if I remove them from my actual Ravelry stash, if I want to count that or not. I don't know yet. Thoughts, things need to be like, if you have thoughts, please let me know. Like, I would really love to know what you think I should do about that. Like, if I should count it regardless of where it was located previously. Like, if it gets technically moved into the active stash, do I add it as an in, and then if it leaves, then I add it as an out? Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Please let me know down in the comments. I'll let you know what you think. So I guess I'm getting close to the end here. I'm really running out of juice, guys. I'm sorry. The medication and the holidays and doctor appointment yesterday, I am very, very tired. I'm not taking my stimulant. I'm not taking the phentermine right now because I need to actually sleep. So I'm really, really tired. My energy levels are really freaking low. But on the, I guess, not trigger warning, content warning, weight loss and anxiety conversation. Anxiety's not been super bad. I did have a couple of anxious moments around the holidays, mostly from not wanting to be a jerk. Because when I'm around certain family members, it's really hard for me with how much I've grown in the last year to not pop off on them, I guess, and like just start reaming them for bullshit they pulled throughout the year or just in general. I have a really bad habit of this. Like, being the anxious person I am, I will like pre-think out conversations and think of things I can say to people if I want to tear them apart because they're being mean. And one of those people is my mother-in-law. There are a lot of things my mother-in-law has said and done that I want to throttle her for. And she pulls a lot of crap at the holidays with my husband, and it drives me crazy. But so seeing my in-laws is always really hard. Just we don't get along with them like at all. There's so little in common, and my husband's stepdad is so damn awkward. The man is I have never seen a more two-dimensional personality in a person ever, and he is so two-dimensional. So two-dimensional. And it's hard. It's hard. Literally, I think every interaction for the holidays we had this year was not super great. It just wasn't. Like, anything with my mother's family is politics and religion, and anything with my dad's family is my step-siblings being little self-centered jerks and being exclusionary and not including my brother and I and our spouses and things, and then my mother-in-law just being passive-aggressive and her husband being a flat jerk. So holidays are hard, man. Holidays are hard for everybody. Everyone's got their family problems. One of these days, though, I think I'm just gonna say fuck it and just not see anyone for the holidays. Like, just be like, no, we're gonna go on vacation and just not go on vacation. Just stay home. I mean, the good thing that came out of it is I'm gonna see my brother and my sister-in-law a lot in the next week, because we're gonna go see my grandfather who's in the hospital, My brother was a gem and offered to drive. So all I have to do is drive us to his house, and then he'll drive us down. Um, and then we're gonna spend New Year's Eve with them as well because they don't have any plans. And my sister, this is how much I know. This is how I know my sister-in-law likes me a lot. Uh, we share a phone plan with them, so we also share a Netflix account. And um, my sister-in-law made a comment about the last episode of Stranger Things coming out on New Year's Eve, and she's like, oh, she got so excited. I was like, you guys could come over and we could watch it together. And the excitement that she has in just spending time with my husband and I is wonderful, and it's part of why I love her so much. Is she genuinely likes me and actually wants to spend time with me, so and like wants to actually talk to me and just be around me, which is awesome. I mean, I haven't given her a reason not to. Just I know I'm a lot, and she being an only child doesn't know how to deal with a lot. My brother has me, so he's used to a lot. She's not. Her and my husband both are only children. Like they don't understand the whole sibling dynamic like my brother and I do. So it's very interesting. My brother and I both married only children. Very interesting dynamic between all the families, and the cultural differences between like what we grew up in and what they grew up in. My sister-in-law enjoys spending time with me, so she's invited us over. So we're gonna spend New Year's Eve with them, which is gonna be really nice because normally they go out and do stuff with their friends. So I have a feeling because my sister-in-law finished school that they just don't, and probably because she has to work. Because she has to work. She had to work Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve because dental hygiene apparently needs to be done on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. But so they're not doing anything. So she's totally invited us over to just hang out. Really? Really? Do you have to rumble like that? I don't remember what I was saying. Rude. I'm thinking about living in a small town, middle of fucking nowhere, and loud trucks everywhere. But yeah, so my sister-in-law invited us over very excitedly. So we're gonna spend New Year's Eve with them, which will be nice. And then I'm off. Like I'm literally off work until the 9th. Like I don't go back to work until January 12th. I've got 2.5 weeks of vacation, and I'm very excited. I'm not thinking about work as much as possible, and yeah. And I'm hopeful that things are going okay. I have someone who's from my other company who's like handling things while I'm gone, but she doesn't deal with the volume of things I do on a daily basis. Like what I do on a daily basis for 2 companies is what she does for 2 in like 3 days. So what I deal with daily is 3 times what she deals with normally. So it's gonna be interesting. I of course gave her my phone number, so if she needs to get a hold of me, she can. But it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens when I get back. Hopefully it's not too crazy. Hopefully I don't have to pull a bunch of 10-hour days to get caught up. But we shall see. So that's the anxiety stuff, anxiety and holiday stuff. Weight loss. I triple checked. I only lost 4 pounds this entire year. Like that's what I lost. I lost 4 freaking pounds. I started the year at 256 and I'm ending the year at 252. Which ultimately is fine. Like my lowest I got to this year was 248, which is not bad. Like to only have, and 248 was like in the middle of the year or even like September. So the fact that I only fluctuated like 4 freaking pounds within like an 8-pound range the whole year is actually pretty impressive, and I'm very proud of that. Like I could have spiraled like fucking crazy during my depressive episode this past summer and everything. Like I could have been so much worse. Like the depression could have been so much worse, and I could have been just said fuck it to everything and just consumed and like I have like the drive to like to go to the gym and everything's not super great, but like I'm gonna try so hard to start going again because I'm feeling I'm getting those pains in places, and I know that I can remedy that if I start working out again. And like I've gotten to a point where I've lost enough body fat that like I'm acutely aware of how little butt muscle I have. Like, there's not enough fat on my butt anymore, so I sit down on hard surfaces and it hurts because there's nothing to cushion anymore. Not nothing, but there's way less of a cushion now. And I think another big component is that I want to be stronger. I really do. Like, I have moments where I can, because I've lost enough, I can physically see, like, just how strong my muscles are, or like I can visually see the muscle, and I'm like, I want more. And it's just, I think it's going to be a matter of figuring out what schedule works for me. Both being in the office, what days being in the office and what days being at home. I have a feeling that once all the holiday and New Year stuff is done, I can get back in and I can rearrange things a bit downstairs so I have a dedicated spot to do my walking pad so I don't have to worry about all the setup crap. And I want to see if my brother will go with me to the gym at some point in the next couple of weeks to kind of refresh me and like walk me through things again, and we'll see. We will see. But like, I'm not stopping. Like, I'm still tracking things, not as diligently as I was because holidays, but I'm gonna start tracking things more diligently again. And I definitely feel like I'm better at eyeballing how much of something I should have. I'm definitely better about the good versus bad foods. Like, there's no such thing as good foods and no such thing as bad foods. They're just foods. So I'm hopeful that I will get past whatever is the problem with the gym and be able to get back in there and start working out again and get stronger and lose some freaking weight. Because I hit the 1/3 mark and I want to get to that. I want to get there. I really, really do. I want to be under 200 pounds really, really bad. I want to be so strong. I want to be strong. I want to be strong. So you can only be strong if you lift weights to failure. So that's. I feel like I'm a bit of renewed drive. Not as intensely as when I first started by any means, but it is renewed to a degree where I'm like, okay, we're gonna start doing this again. We're gonna do this. My habits are getting better, and like in the last couple of months, my habits have been really bad, and I physically felt it. Like, I physically can feel how bad the habits are. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to get back to the good habits that felt good and empowered my body and not feeling so fucking sluggish. So we shall see. But anyway, thank you all for coming on this journey with me this year. I know it was really sporadic there for a bit when my depression got really, really bad. I think going into the new year, I'm probably still going to do one video a month. Unless I feel that I think I can go back to doing 2 videos a month. But for now, I think one a month works. Works for my schedule, works with my capacity. So I'm gonna stick with that. So, I think that's all I got right now. Please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the comments and love. And I will see you guys in the new year. Bye.